Hey guys, we're Blended95, recording live from your local county prison cell. Literally as I was turning on this device, Death Battle decides to upload a cast where they announce the first episode of season 7. So immediately after doing this, I'm gonna have to do a video about that. Um, yeah, I've been saying I need to get through some of the fights that I have lined up. So, I mean, I guess I could like wait until that starts, but that's in like weeks from now. So I'm just gonna do this one now to get this out of the way. This this fight is something that I've been meaning to do. It's Smoke from Mortal Kombat versus Smoker, Captain Smoker from One Piece. Um, I'm gonna say the word smoke a lot in this video because it's kind of necessary. So let's go into it. Smoke, the character is actually he's part of the Shiryu. He's a friend and comrade to Sub Zero, and he's actually not Japanese. He's actually from Japanese or Chinese, I guess. He's from Prague. However that happened. It's not really important. It's just a factoid. It's just an interesting thing I always bring up where it's like got a guy from ninja from Prague. Okay. And he has this, in addition to his, combat training and everything, um, he has the ability to manipulate and transform into smoke. Now, initially, that was just kind of part of his abilities, but then we later find out that he's actually, and again, this is why it's funny that that he's not Japanese. He's from Prague, but he's also, in secret, he was a demon of Japanese lore whose body is made of smoke. I mean, I get that, like, not every mythology is real in Mortal Kombat, and we know that, like, Raiden, the God of Thunder, is real and everything. But the fact that this guy is not even Japanese, but he is a creature of Japanese lore, is kind of funny to me. I don't know why. Um, so his he can essentially transform his body into smoke at will to phase through objects, to phase through people, to teleport. Um, he can turn his again. He can shoot smoke at people, throw smoke bombs and everything. He can pressurize his the smoke that he uses, right? To kind of like he can pressurize it to kind of like crush your head inside of it. He can he can use it as almost like a blade in some instances. So he has, and again, he's a ninja also. So he's got all this incredible martial arts training. As for feats, I don't really know that many. He went through cyberization, but I don't believe he was saved from it. Like to my knowledge, he wasn't like I know that Sector remained a robot intentionally. I think it was Cyrax who was reverted, right? Cyrax was the one who retained his humanity and then was reverted. Smoke was the one who died, I think, and Sub Zero was the one who, yeah, and um Kuai Liang was the one who went through it and then was reverted back to being human. I think Smoke just died after becoming cyborg. But if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about that. So let's move on to Smoker because honestly, both of these guys have pretty much the same abilities. Um, so being an out or being a navy captain, he's got that level of training going for him. So he's, One Piece. He's developed superhuman strength and all that shit. And yeah, my voice is a little terrible right now, so forgive me. He's also developed. Um, he's also developed like because of his devil fruit, he's developed his powers, which is also smoke based, by the way. So theme for the fight. Um, Brain skipped a minute there. Yeah. So the way he can use his smoke is he can not only his limbs, he can make his entire body turn into it. He can kind of stretch it out while like keeping his hand. He can like turn his arms into smoke and stretch it out. He can control the density of it. To like catch people in it, to like bind people with it and trap them. Um, and he carries around that Juntei, which is a Japanese police weapon, made out of sea prism stone, which is the equivalent of, it's like the seas, it's the embodiment of the sea, so that's why it works on devil fruit users. But the other technique that he's developed, because he's had to fight devil fruit users, the other technique that he's developed is that he's able to use haki, and he's able to use it on other. He's able to use the haki ability that allows you to hit, physically harm immaterial. Because it came up in the fight against Crocodile, where he's able to harm immaterial people, like people with devil fruits that give them immaterial bodies. So like Ace having a body made of fire that normally can't be punched through. This makes it so that he can punch Ace without it, even if he's fire, right? Makes it so that he can punch Akainu even though he's made of magma. Punch Crocodile even though he's made of sand, right? This is probably the determining factor in this fight. So breaking it down, Smoke is almost definitely the better fighter, whereas, but I would say strength wise, I mean, there's that argument that like, because in every Mortal Kombat character video, they use the like test your strength, test your might, test as like canon. Now, oh, we can karate chop through a titanium statue, or you can karate chop through several cinder blocks. So we know that they're going to do something, they would do something like that for Smoke, right? However, just fighting, like, characters with such superhuman strength, like Luffy, and all that, probably, I think, gives him the edge in strength. Gives Smoker the edge in strength. Also, the fact that he can increase the density of his smoke to trap things, and also the fact that he can still make contact with immaterial bodies. So, if he were fighting another version of himself, which Smoke is essentially, they have the same abilities, he'd be able to hit Smoke, whereas Smoke wouldn't be able to hit Smoker if he turned his body into Smoke. This is why this fight is stupid, and to a degree, explaining it. So, essentially, TLDR, I think Smoker is going to win this just because he can actually, like, he would have more ways to actually harm Smoke, whereas Smoke, even though they have the same powers, doesn't really have any way to beat. They could both, in theory, be intangible, but Smoker has ways to deal with intangible opponents, whereas Smoke does not. So yeah, basically, I'm gonna give this to Smoker. It's a short episode, but I just wanted to get this one out of the way, just to say I did one. But before the new season started. So anyway, I guess I did technically what, because I did what I did the last one. I think that was after All Might Guy. So yeah. Anyway, Purple Engine 95.